Hey everybody, Reaganite71 here. It's the first day of March 2013. It's about 46 degrees outside. I got my jacket on and I am itching to garden. The weather's not right to put them in the ground, but I can definitely get stuff ready. I got a lot to do, a whole lot to do. Told you we're going to turn these beds into 30-foot rows. We got a lot of dead space in between, so what I've done is I took some old swimming pool that was tore up anyway, and I cut it down in order to kill the grass off. Got a lot of cleanup to do though. I'm going to take these, take our trellises down, set them off to the side, pick up the 4x4 boxes and get those off to the side and scrape off my good material. I've also got a weed issue. I'll show you that here in a minute. But we're going to get all of this cleaned up. That way we can come in with our drip irrigation piping and all of that, and then set up our new raised beds with yellow wood. And we're going to have a lot of grow space. It's going to be a lot of fun. So come along. I don't know, but I think the winter weeds have really enjoyed the compost. I put some cardboard down in a couple of the beds to try to kill them off. But they are definitely liking the compost soil. Now, like I told you, I'm doing 30-foot runs on both sides where I used to have 4x4s and a gap, 4x4s and a gap. And so what I've done is I've taken some old swimming pool liner, cut it up, and I'm killing off the weeds and grass that grew in between them. When I come back through with my new raised bed, I'm going to lay cardboard down and just leave it there and then put fresh compost and all of that right on top. That cardboard will eventually break down over time, and most of your roots in a typical vegetable garden are not going to get anywhere near 12 inches deep. So tomatoes come close, I suppose, but they'll be fine. And over here is my compost area. I got 3 piles going actually, and there's a reason behind it. Let me show you. This pile right here is basically, you remember when we did the grow bags? That special mix with the coconut core and all that? That's what I've got right here. And I've kind of separated it from my main compost pile because when I do the new raised bed, since this has got that coconut core and all that good stuff in it, I want to sprinkle it along the top. I've got my main compost going over here with the stuff from last year, some leaves. Oh, let me change direction here. Now right next to it here, I've got my main compost pile. It's got compost from last year, vegetation that I actually pulled up out of the garden at the end of the season, corn stalks, things like that. Fresh coffee grounds, eggshells that we've been using through the winter, as you can see. And I've got it all right there, and I'll grind it up with the tiller. And then over here, this massive mound was leaves that I mulched up with our lawnmower from the front and backyard. And what I'll do as the season goes on and we start getting grass, I'll take some of that and I'll mix it in to the other compost. That way I get green and brown and all that, which will give it all the stuff that it needs to make really good compost later on. One other note about the eggshells that you can see I've got crushed and scattered all through here. Make sure you throw them in the microwave for a minute or so. That'll help cook off any salmonella. I like doing that. Or you could put them in the oven for about, I don't know, 375 for a little bit. Let them heat up and get above 165. Kill off that, kill off any stuff that might be in it. But the eggshells are an excellent source of calcium for your garden. And your tomatoes really need it. They need that calcium to avoid blossom end rot. Well, this compost pile is not going to crush itself up by itself, so I guess I'll get to it here. Well, I imagine this looks kind of familiar to you. These are the grow bags that I created last year. As you can see, they've got a really good root system that went right through the bag, but they're actually pretty doggone sturdy. They've been sitting out all winter, and look at that. Nice and sturdy. And if you can see the inside here, the roots made it all the way down to the bottom, and they really enjoyed that area where the liquid pooled at the bottom there with the containers. But it's surprising to me how sturdy they still are, even after being out in the sun and all that. There's a little bit of sun damage there, or UV bleaching, but they're still very, very strong. It's a very strong fabric, and they made really good grow bags. You could actually use them again this next year. So they worked out pretty good there. I had them thrown on top of this bed here because of all the winter weeds growing. I thought I'd try to block the sun out a little bit. You can see there in the center it kind of did. Now it's just a matter of getting the rake out and pulling them back here, getting down to that good soil. There's a nice webbing of roots right under there. They're very invasive on the top layer, at least. They like to lock in. But look at this soil here that's overwintered. It is so deep and so rich. That good compost, and using the compost tea last year, it did a really, really good job. Because I mean, think about it. Last year, the stuff that was sitting in here at one point was grass clippings and leaves, and we used the drunken composting formula, and it just did a fabulous job with it. Really happy with that. And now it's just the drudgery of cleaning the beds out and getting it cleaned up and neat. I'm going to finish doing this, and then I'm going to take some more of that blue swimming pool tarp and cut it out around the beds. That way the sunlight doesn't get in there and cause more weeds to grow. It'll kill off anything that's underneath there, and then we'll be ready to bring in the yellow wood, pull up the old 4x4s, and make some new rows. But before we do that, we're going to have to get into drip irrigation. We're going to actually trench and do our pipe fitting and get our run squared away there, at least on the subsurface level. We'll do our pressure testing, get that all set up, and then we'll bring the beds in and the compost and run our actual drip irrigation tubing and the emitters and all that good stuff. That's coming soon to a YouTube channel near you. This YouTube channel. Appreciate you subscribing and watching, and hope y'all have a great growing season. Reaganite 71 saying have a good day.
Red and juicy, fresh and fluffy. I'm both a veggie and a fruit. I taste good when I cook. You can also eat me raw.